Good morning, everybody. So today we're going to be prepping for falling a tree that's near our house, because last year, I'll just show you this tree here. It's a hemlock. It's a nice hemlock, but unfortunately a few things about it that are troublesome. It is close to the house, close enough that it's a danger, far enough away that it's even more of a danger that it'll gain enough momentum. It could come crashing down from a west wind on any part of our house here. Like it could come down anywhere here at any time. Last November, in the middle of the big west wind storms, we had a branch. You can't quite see it up there, but the top got a big, huge branch hit there and warped the top, and then came down and landed on the deck here. That was scary. It's right above our bedroom. So this has to go, unfortunately. I don't like cutting nice looking trees like this, but when they are a danger and lives are on the line. The other issue with it is it's grown out of an old stump. So I don't know if this root system is more supportive or less supportive than a regular tree, but I don't want to find out in the middle of November. So it's going to have to go. Our septic field is here, as far as I know. So we're going to be following it. And the plan is this direction to avoid the septic field, or at least minimize it anyway. There might be a little bit in here that I'm not aware of, but I don't think it's over this far. So into that area over there. So today we're going to clean out these little alders to clear a nice space in there. Also at the same time, this maple is intertwined into the hemlock. So we'll have to cut this, get it ready with a wedge at the back, ready to fall. I don't think it's going to move anywhere because it's so limb bound up there. And then we'll get that all cut up. I'll put a platform. I have to put a kind of a platform up here because I need to get high enough up here to cut it. So I'll put a little platform here today, get it prepped up so I can stand on that to get the undercut at least. The back cut, I can at least step into there and get that. That'll be safe enough. And also today, just to get a little bit of these branches on the back side here off, we're just going to take a few of the branches up here to do two things. One is to clear the back end here and also get some of the weight off the back side off of it, and then more of the branches falling forward just for the right falling direction. So that's our plan for today. And then maybe take a few of these out that are almost hitting the ground, just about here, just so they're not impinging on the actual falling of the tree. Alrighty, that's our plan. And then we'll open this gate here and come in here with the truck, or pull the little limbs over to here. Let's get this up here. There we go. So that's the plan. Maybe take a few, there's some dead maples here, maybe fall them out of there while we're dealing with all this. So lots of little cleanup things that we worry about in the middle of the windstorms in November through March, especially the west winds. East winds are okay. Slightly saddened because this tree here does provide us some earlier afternoon shade on the deck. But shade in the summer versus tree on your head, I think I'll choose no shade in the summer. And right now at this point we are taking the back limbs off. I don't like ladders and chainsaws, but this was just a added benefit that I thought would be important, and the limbs weren't overly huge, so I wasn't worried about them coming down and taking me out or taking the ladder out. Otherwise, because I don't like those videos of ladders and chainsaws and the limb comes down and hits the ladder and knocks the person off the ladder. I'm not into doing those types of videos. I'm not into pain either. So this is just doing the backside here. I'll kind of skip through it. you'll see kind of fast forward through bits of it. Then we get the front of it just to clean up, give it a little haircut on the bottom to help out with the situation and the weight on the backside. Out of the way? Yeah. I'm going to go up there and get the ones on this side. I'm going to turn the ladder and get the ones on this side. Okay, so I'll hold this side again. So I don't want to go to this side. And once we got the whole bottom of the limbs of the tree trimmed up, then we moved on to the front of where the tree's going to be falling to. So this is just clearing some brush and then falling some little trees around the front of the tree. They were maybe maximum 6 inches diameter, and just went through and cleaned all them up to make sure that this is not going to impede the falling of the big tree. And the reason I'm using a little saw here is that the big saw had a half decent chain on it and I didn't want to wreck it. So I was just using the small saw, even though I don't like the small saw. I find the small saw actually more dangerous than the big saw. I'll get to the big saw soon here because I got kind of frustrated with this little saw. So that's the reason I'm using it. And this tree here kind of hung up on me a little bit, but I knew it wasn't very much hung up. And you'll see here how just I go over to the other side of it, and then when I come back, it comes down pretty quick. So just goes to show you never trust a tree that's hung up because it could come down at any time. And if you watch here, I actually walk under the tree. I knew it didn't move there, but I didn't trust it. I moved quickly, and then just watch. In a second or two, it comes down. It's pretty crazy, actually. So those were all little small pieces of timber we had to fall and bushes we had to take down for the big tree. I kind of cut and pasted a bunch of them together there, and now we're just going to move on to the big show, big event. Here it is. There's our little platform for doing the chainsawing. All right, here's the chainsaw platform. We're cutting down the tree right here. And then could do it from here, but I feel more comfortable on the back cut right here. I know not everyone is going to be in agreement with this, as we talked about, but this tree is going today because of the location to our house. I've already talked about it in the previous video about how it could fall on the house, but also just the way the tree was grown. It's grown out of an old stump, and if you notice here, this is all like literally it's just rotten, and that's the roots. The roots kind of go like an octopus over the edges, and that's another reason why we have to take this down. I know not everyone will be in agreement with it, but at least you can understand our reasons, hopefully, of why this has to go. It's a nice tree. I just wish it was 100 feet from the house, because it's far enough away from the house. So if that ever got a west wind, which we've got a lot of aggressive west winds now, by the time that fell, if it fell there, it would just demolish that. Here it would hit my son Keith, who sleeps right there. Here it would hit us, our whole family there, wreck the whole house. It would just be devastating. So, has to go. We've got all these other trees around, like thousands of other trees. We'll be able to handle one taken down, even though I don't like it either. That's just the way it goes. Yeah, it shouldn't come tight. I got a double whammy there, don't forget. But is that okay? Yes, I think so. That's okay. Well, let's get this as tight as we can. So guys can come and help pull this. So we did tie a rope to the tree. It's about a 200-foot rope. So I think the tree's about 100 feet long. So we had about 120 feet of rope to come along to a big maple at the bottom, and it's just pulling on it so to keep the tree pulled towards away from the house, just as insurance. The tree was leaning a little bit towards the house, so I know I'm gonna have to wedge it anyway, but the rope is not for pulling the tree over. It's just for extra insurance for me falling it. So what I'm doing now is I am cutting up that maple. It's about a 12-inch maple that was limb bound beside this hemlock. I'm cutting it, doing the undercut and the back cut, putting a wedge in it to have it leaning in the right direction, that it has to go with the hemlock as well. Sorry I didn't get footage of this. I'll maybe put a picture in there again right now of what that what that maple looked like. This maple is intertwined into the hemlock, so we'll have to cut this, get it ready with a wedge at the back, ready to fall. I don't think it's going to move anywhere because it's so limb bound up there. So I'll let this video play in its entirety. I'll just comment on it now instead of commenting through it, because I don't have any footage of it up close, but I do have 3 different fallings of the tree that I'll post at the end or during the fall. But obviously I'm using the platform to do my first initial undercut. I did a Humboldt cut on that, as you'll see. Had to use an axe to bang it out, cleaned it up a little bit, and then I moved to the other side, not on a platform, to do the back cut, and use a bunch of wedges, and had to make sure I wedged it over pretty hard because it was leaning towards the house a bit. So I stacked it up. I got two wedges in it eventually before I could use the chainsaw just to get a little bit of the holding wood taken away to make it finally go. And it went pretty well, as you will see. I'm just cleaning up the undercut here. Again, because it was so close to the house, I don't want to take any chances. It did more than I had to in the sense of things. Same thing when I do the back cut. Do a lot of back and forth checking. Just not a place I want to take any chances. So may take longer, but that's the price you pay for making it work out right. And I'm just marking a little line in the back so I know exactly where to cut the back cut. And because it's such a weirdly positioned stump, I have to kind of do it in an awkward way, back and forth. And I am so convinced that I'm not going to use the saw unless I really, really have to. I am banging wedges in before I'm grabbing the saw. I'm not cutting off that holding timber to save my life. So it might be a little thick. It wasn't. It was about 4 inches. This is a big tree. But I do that at the very end. I use the saw. But in the meantime, I'm using the wedges. I get 2 of them sunk in. I know that's what I needed because the tree was leaning back a little bit. And here I try to put the saw in, I think. But I have one wedge that's in the way, which actually I think worked out quite well, actually, because I had to sink my double wedges in further to get the little wedge out, as you'll see. I think it's good. My legs are shaking at last bit, dude.
You're about 6 feet this way, that's all. Maybe you're right where you wanted to be.
Well,
Did you miss it? Can you see this yet? Put it that way.
now the shed they're speaking of is an old back end of a U-Haul truck that was dumped in the woods at our place. I'll insert a picture too of it, so it's not really anything special. But I did miss it. It wasn't close to it, so we're good. Here's a little bit of footage of it. It's just behind me, the gray building that's just behind me in that picture there. That's the shed that they're speaking of, which is not, it's really just a dilapidated piece of steel bin.
There's always that point where you wonder, hey, what's the matter? How come it's not going? How come it's not going?
I knew I had to do a little bit more tickling than that. Yeah, go this way. See how far it came. So where'd you go in here?
I didn't know we went up there.
No, but this is where our chain is, isn't it?
That's the chain is there.
Watch the double scope. Oh, as he falls into it. Yeah, look at that.
He's spot on.
The tip, no, the tip of it is right at the.
Come along.
Come along.
Is that right? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice, man.
I should have gone over a bit more, but I'll take it. Here, Dan, can you hold this?
Let's see what the end will cost.
Watch the Devil's Club right in front of you there.
Yeah, I see that. Saving it? The top,
This is the tip, yeah.
That's taking pretty close.
Although it is broken a bit there. So maybe it's further than it should be.
The top of it broke off.
Put a winch on it and pull
I
off
think
the butt
so.
end.
On the stub end, you mean?
Just watch yourself in there. I don't know how.
Oh, I see. No, that the end of this thing is sitting there too, isn't it?
Is that the road right there?
Yeah.
That's the best way out.
Oh yeah, man, this is the ultimate devil's club destroying line.
Right in line, eh? Beautiful.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time.